3 ethical and legitimate ways you can actually become a millionaire. In today's video, I'll be giving you 3 pathways you can essentially take in your life. You can go ahead and implement, especially this works really well if you're a bit younger, but even if you're a bit, you're in your 20s or your 30s, you can still implement these tactics and still build your pathway into becoming a millionaire. Now, I'm gonna lay you down 3 different ways you can go ahead and take, basically like 3 paths. So imagine you're on this road and you have 3 pathways, and each of them say millionaires, because each of them have $1 million in them. Basically, one is longer, one is shorter, one is rougher. So that's pretty much the best way I can essentially put it, of how I'm gonna explain this. So let's jump into basically 3 pathways you can essentially take to become a millionaire. By far the fastest way, so the shortest road to becoming a millionaire, is without a doubt starting your own business. Now, I'm gonna give you a bit of some context and how this is by far the fastest way. Just look at the richest people in the United States. They all started some sort of business. Just look at Elon Musk with Tesla, Jeff Bezos with Amazon, Bill Gates with Microsoft, and there's just a ton of different entrepreneurs that built their own business. Now, there are definitely some that invested just in like stocks and made great investments in their life, but the very richest started their own business, and this is by far the one that can essentially get you to becoming a millionaire the fastest and becoming the richest at the same time. Now, obviously, this is going to be the most riskiest, and you're going to take a lot of risks with this business model, because not every business is going to end up well. There are like tons of different businesses that fail every day. There are new businesses starting every single day, but I found in some sort of statistic, like 2/3 of them fail in the first year. So if you get past just the first year, you're already past just like 2/3 of the businesses that start up. So if you already had a business running for at least 1 year, congrats, you made it past the 1/3 club, and now you just need to sustain your business and think of some long-term visions for what you want to do with your business. Now, so I'm gonna give you some ideas of some businesses that you can start. So obviously, when starting a business, you want to think long-term. You can't have a business that essentially makes you a ton of money and doesn't make you any more after 1 year. So I'm gonna give you some long-term businesses. So first on the list is going to be a dropshipping brand. Now, dropshipping is definitely it's a very lucrative business, but there are different ways to make it more long-term, because the traditional way of retail dropshipping and just online arbitrage in general is not sustainable, right? Especially if you saw my last video, I got banned on Facebook Marketplace. Like, you can't control that. So if you do want to do some sort of e-commerce, or more specifically dropshipping, then you want to be building some sort of dropshipping brand, and you do this by establishing credibility by first dropshipping via Shopify. You build up your storefront and establish credibility. You build your long-term customer base. You collect their email, their phone numbers, and you basically brand yourself as some sort of, kind of like second off eBay or Amazon, but just your own version of it, right? So a dropshipping brand is gonna be by far the most sustainable. If you do want to go down the e-commerce route, a brand is almost crucial in determining the longevity of your online businesses. Next up, we have a software as a service, or also known as SaaS. Now, these make great passive income sources as well. So what software as a service entails is you're going to be creating some sort of software. So let's say you want to create some sort of dropshipping tool. Now, some of my people that come from dropshipping on eBay know of a tool called Zik Analytics, which is a product research tool for eBay dropshipping. Now that is basically what is called a SaaS, and they charge per monthly, and once you get a good amount of users on their platform, it's essentially pretty much very passive income. They have users that enjoy the product, they come back to it every single month, and they get some sort of monthly subscription from you. Now this business model is going to be pretty long term, as long as you keep updating the platform, introducing new features, and the customer support is on par. You need to have these three pillars in order to have this SaaS long term. Now the third one, we also have a marketing agency. Now marketing agencies, another sort of income or an online business that can be potentially very, very lucrative. Some agency owners that I previously had connections with, they can build their agencies all the way up to 50,000 up to 100,000 per month, and they charge per month. But the thing with marketing agencies is, sure, you need to you can charge like 5,000 to 10,000 per month, but the longevity of these clients, usually they don't last as long as if you were to build a brand. Now sure, clients can last up to a year, and I've seen different clients last up to a couple years at max, but for longevity's sakes, you always need to be looking for new clients. You do go down the marketing agency route. And this was just with all these businesses. I just gave you 3 examples. The dropshipping brand, the SaaS, which is also called software as a service, and then the social media marketing agency as well. So with these businesses, you want to think long term, because longevity is going to be the most important part in your path to becoming a millionaire. Also with the SaaS, you don't really need to create some sort of new revolutionary software. The entire SaaS market is just rebranded and repackaged software. And what that means is you don't really need to create the next new Zik Analytics, new Jungle Scout for Amazon. You just need to rebrand it and repackage it. But don't steal the exact concept. Remarket it in a different way and repackage it to offer some sort of uniqueness to your product, so you're not blatantly just copying a direct competitor. And that's going to be very crucial in your longevity of your software as a service. Next up on the list to becoming a millionaire is going to be moving up the job world. Now, by far, this is going to be the longest road on the 3 pathways. But most people, if you're not very technical, or if you're not too entrepreneurial, will take this path. And there's nothing wrong with taking this path. It just, you might live a more normal life. You don't have as much stress as running your own business, because running your own business is very stressful and very time consuming at times. So if you want to go down this path, you will be paid by a hourly wage. So you graduate college, get some sort like a technology job, or it could be anything. It could be any job. But with this pathway, what you want to do is you want to set money aside for savings and investments. And sure, this pathway sounds the most boring, but by far this is going to be a very, very achievable goal, or achievable pathway for most people, because of how predictable their jobs can be with their income. Even if you go down this path, don't think you're just locked down this path. You can always branch out to different avenues, different side hustles as well. And that's what a ton of people do nowadays, is have some sort of side hustle, and eventually they turn into path number 1, where they start a business on the side while working their job, and their business is making more than their job, and they can quit that 9-to-5 job and go down path number 1, and that ultimately will make them more money long term. And it has less risk, because you have that job you have that job as a backup plan just in case. And number 3 on the list is going to be smart investments. Now, what I mean by smart investments is essentially smart investments are going to make up the majority of the millionaires in the world currently. Not the richest of the world, but the most amount of millionaires. And what this means by smart investments is you want to be investing your money into real estate, stocks, it can be YouTube, it can be your own business, it can be yourself. You need to make investments based on what kind of value and different outputs you're going to get back. So let's say you own already a business, but it's only making $5,000 a month, and that money you need to be reinvesting back into yourself in your business so you can expand that, make more money. So I'm gonna give you some examples. So I already mentioned real estate, it could be the stock market, it can be cryptocurrency. You need to be investing in businesses and yourself. Your business and yourself are gonna be the most important, as those are gonna bring you the largest amount of return long term. This is probably not going to be the fastest as well. It can be faster than a 9-to-5 job. It's not going to be the fastest, but it's going to be the most achievable because you can actually set aside money to invest in different avenues, different streams of income that are going to bring you money long term. It doesn't even have to be just real estate. It can be different side hustles as well that I already covered into pathway number 1 and pathway number 2. So in reality, all these 3 pathways and different ways of becoming a millionaire are not wrong. It doesn't matter which one you take. You just need to stay in that lane, and you need to keep track of everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you found any value in this, make sure you smash that like button. It massively helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.